Good evening and welcome to POSTCAST. David Locke along with Ron Boone as the Jazz blow out the Toronto Raptors 131-99 tonight. That's easy.
Unbelievable ball game.
You know what's interesting is the Raptors play hard. They're not a team that rolls over and dies. You look at what they've done this year. That's not their persona. So you really have to give the Jazz credit for ripping their heart out a little bit.
Well, first of all, they're on the road, and they'd only won one ball game on the road so far this year, and they do play hard. I think defensively they were just smothered by three-point shots tonight, and they had no answer for that. But just looking at their overall play for the entire year, now the record is not very good, but out of the 15 losses, 11 of those losses have come within 10 points.
Right.
They've been in basketball games, and what I understand, they just really having problems finishing them.
So without Derek Favors and without Al Jefferson, the Utah Jazz are able to pull this off tonight, and they're doing it largely behind, well, really the worst-case scenario you could ever have to open the night. Paul Millsap gets 2 fouls, and suddenly you have Enes Kanter and Jeremy Evans. So this was a huge night for Enes Kanter. Ron, I don't know if we've talked about this very much, but on my tip-off podcast, I talk a lot about everyone wants the Jazz to make a move about the bigs. Mm-hmm. I say, hey, they're collecting data points. Yeah. They're getting more and more information, and every day they get more information, they learn more to make sure that when they do have to make the decision, they make the right decision. This was a huge data point night for the Jazz. Kanter has this chance, and really, he's still got a long way to go.
Yeah.
But he showed he could handle it.
He showed right now that he's still a backup, but he is a viable backup that you can trust. I think when you put him in a basketball game. I just asked him, was he tired? He was gassed. 34 minutes, that's a lot of minutes, and at the level that he plays, I mean, much energy he puts into, every rebound and every time he makes a move down there on the floor, he really got tired. But I think with the Jazz, what we learned, or we should have learned, is that something that we had talked about at the beginning of the year, that they bring in 3 guys that supposedly can shoot the basketball. The Jazz won the basketball game tonight out on the perimeter. They did not win it in the paint like they usually do, and it just snowballed. I mean, all of a sudden they're getting these great looks from the three-point line, these great looks from the perimeter, and they start knocking down threes. And for a moment there, the three-point percentage was better than the
finished that way.
And it did finish up. It ended up finishing that way.
All right. So here's the question: why the ball movement tonight, Ron?
Well, because we didn't have that inside game, and in order to win, we're definitely going to have ball movement. It was a different style than what we've seen all season long. Now you know that, okay, you can play that style. Paul Millsap ended up tonight 7 for 16, 10 rebounds, 5 assists there for Paul.
6th time in his career, by the way. He's had a 20, 10, and 5.
Wow, and absolutely marvelous game. Now, hopefully, that will transfer into, okay, I'm ready to play. I mean, my game is there. He knocked down the mid-range jump shot tonight, too, as well.
Might have the Derek Favors injury at a perfect time. Paul Millsap was pretty deep inside a nasty abyss, and he got back in, got his touches, and seems to have recovered, and so hopefully he comes out of that when Favors is healthy on Sunday to play against the Los Angeles Lakers as we anticipate. So when Al Jefferson returns, can you play with this ball movement? I'm asking you questions I don't have answers
absolutely. to. Absolutely. I don't see why we can't, and as it's, when it goes into Al, it's going to stop. So when you're running the floor like that and guys get into position, I mean, what's the difference in what we saw tonight than what we can see with Al? When you throw it into him, you're not getting it back for the most part. But if you don't throw it into him, it's going around the horn, and you should get good shots. You have to learn how to play together, and I hope that we learned something.
Okay, but the one thing is, we're playing a lot of pick and roll and penetration tonight. If Al's in the post and you try to play pick and roll penetration, the middle's all clogged. I mean, that ball movement started when Millsap and Marvin were the bigs, which I don't think you can do on most nights. I mean, their bigs aren't very good, so we can get away with that. I mean, a lot of this was the matchup happened to be the right night to be without their guys.
And I think you just said that just perfectly.
Yeah.
Because it's all about, what matchups you have, and can you get away with that every night? Absolutely not.
No, but you try Millsap and Marvin against L.A. and we're in trouble.
But when you can, you have to take advantage of it.
Let's go back to Kanter. What did you see out of him tonight?
Just hard work. I mean, I saw exactly what we saw during preseason. Just worked very, very hard. I mean, I saw Coach Corbin show him out one time. Then I saw Coach Corbin pull him over and pat him on the back. And because of, not only because of the effort, because he was doing the right thing out there, getting to the right spots, which is very important as far as him getting minutes on the floor in ball games to come. But I just saw the hustle, and I also saw that he was very excited about playing against his rival from the earlier days.
Can I share something with you?
Yeah.
You want to know the best part about tonight for me?
What's that?
For the last 18 months, I've been getting tweets from people who I am convinced have never, ever seen Jonas Valanciunas ever play in their entire life, but still have tweeted, we made the wrong choice. We should. Like when Valanciunas spent a year in Europe, he evidently became a god in NBA fans' minds. So I now know after tonight that I will never get another tweet from anyone wishing that we drafted Valanciunas instead of Kanter, because tonight they're not even close.
Right. And the thing is, I asked, I did. I showed him. I said, Ennis, you got him again. He was so excited. You know,
it's a big one.
Got him again. I mean, because
those are the two best European bigs.
Rivals. Yeah.
So they definitely, he got him again. All right. The only other tip of the hat I wanted to throw out is I just thought Jamal was great again. I don't know how he's doing this, but every time he comes on the floor, the team gets better.
He is such a professional, and he knows what's going on out there on the floor. He gets his teammates shots. He pushes the ball up the floor and gives them opportunities on the offensive end. Now, defensively is a liability for the most part.
But somehow. But you know what, actually? Okay, I have a crazy note for you. I know you got to go to TV. But I ran. You don't have to do. Oh, good, so you can hang out. No. But I ran a bunch of numbers the other day. I was going to show this to you on the plane. A bunch of our best defensive five-man lineups have Jamal Tinsley
on the floor.
Guard.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, he just and you know, you can just tell now that he's playing basketball the way he wants and the way he likes to play. You know, he doesn't get off the bench there for a couple of ball games, or he gets a minute or two because they're seeing what how ready for a backup point guard is Earl Watson, and boy, he comes in the ball game here tonight, just boom, just like he was playing every day.
Here's my final note for everybody: 8 players in double figures. 8 players with 3 or more rebounds, 5 players with 4 or more assists, 6 players with steals, all 11 players that played, or 12 players that played, I think, 11 players that played, had at least 2 field goals, and 4 guys with 2 or more threes. It's a pretty good balance.
Well, I think, you know, late in that fourth quarter, or the third quarter, really, I think the separation came. Even though the second quarter, that it was just a wonderfully played ball games. You didn't let them back in the third quarter. You ended up outscoring them 32-24. But I just thought that fourth quarter, that the Raptors, they had given up, you know, and the Jazz just had their way.
Phil Johnson was all tight. Phil was all tight, and I was like, Coach, relax. We're up 19. Oh, you can't relax. We got 12 minutes to play. Coach, we're fine. That's Ron Boone. I'm David Locke. Have a good night.